in complete silence.
Think of this illusion as moving pieces on a board you don't even know you're playing on. Manipulators don't usually rely on loud drama or aggressive fights to get what they want. They're much more subtle. They pull the strings from right behind the scenes. And honestly, the most dangerous part, you just keep giving them exactly what they want, completely convinced that it was your own idea the whole time.
So, here is the manipulator's hidden playbook. We're going to expose all 5 tricks today, moving from the illusion to the setup, the trap, the capture, and finally, breaking the spell. Once you see these tactics, their power over you completely disappears. Let's get started.
Trick number 1 is love bombing. This is where they make you feel like the most incredibly special person in the world, right from the start. But here's the thing. They aren't doing this because they genuinely care. They're building a massive pedestal to put you on, just so they can systematically knock you down later. It's kind of like someone giving you your absolute favorite candy every single day. You get used to it, you love it, and then suddenly, no more candy. You feel awful, right? You wonder what you did wrong. They basically make you dependent on their approval, so you end up changing who you are just to get that candy back.
Notice the stark contrast here. Real friends build trust slowly over time, while manipulators, they rush in incredibly fast. If someone is super nice to you almost too quickly, you really need to be careful. Strong people don't actually need to be put on a pedestal. They're perfectly fine just being normal. But manipulators use this rushed affection as a weapon to make sure you spend the rest of the relationship desperately chasing that initial high.
Let's move on to trick number 2, which I like to call the Pain Olympics. This is wild. It's where they completely flip accountability. Pretty much every time they mess up, somehow it becomes about how hard their life is. Say they say something genuinely mean to you. Instead of apologizing, they start going on and on about their terrible day or their rough childhood. And suddenly your brain switches gears. You start thinking, gosh, maybe I'm being too sensitive. And boom, you are the one apologizing to them.
The crucial difference really boils down to their reaction. Real care sounds like, I am so sorry I hurt you, how can I fix it? Manipulation sounds like, you think you're hurt? Let me tell you about my life. They will always win the gold medal in the Pain Olympics. And why do they do it? Because when they're the biggest victim in the room, you can't be mad at them. Weak people turn absolutely everything into their own story so they can just hog all the emotional space.
Trick number 3 is what we call the cookie jar test. Master manipulators do not cross your boundaries by accident. They test them entirely on purpose. Think about how this works in steps. Step 1, they take 1 cookie. Maybe they make a slightly mean joke. You let it slide. Step 2, they take 3 cookies. They cancel important plans at the absolute last minute. You still don't say anything. Step 3, they take the entire jar. This just proves the sneaky incremental nature of how boundaries are tested and eventually broken. They are literally training you to accept worse and worse behavior over time.
So here is exactly how you handle the cookie jar test. The very first time something feels off, you have to speak up. You don't have to be loud, just clear. Just say, hey, please don't do that again. The reaction will reveal everything you need to know. A good person apologizes when you tell them they crossed the line. But a manipulator? Oh, they get immediately defensive. They'll call you too sensitive or tell you it was just a joke. Calm down. If they do that, it's because you just interrupted their test.
All right, let's jump to trick number 4, which is captured just perfectly in this quote. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but you keep pulling the lever hoping for the win. One day they're super warm and sweet, and the very next day they're cold and distant. It is literally an emotional slot machine. Think about it. If they were mean all the time, you just leave. But because they mix these hot and cold signals, your brain gets addicted to trying to solve the puzzle of how to get the good version of them back.
And that brings us to the ultimate truth of trick 4. When you're confused, you're controllable. Your brain goes into complete overdrive trying to figure out the pattern. But here's the secret. There is no pattern. The confusion itself is the pattern. They're keeping you guessing on purpose to keep you off balance and working desperately hard to earn their attention. Remember, strong people walk away from mixed signals. They don't chase them.
Phase
Trick
3.
number 5 is isolation, and this happens so methodically. First, they plant these tiny seeds of doubt. You know, your friends don't really get you like I do. Second, they water those seeds every single time you talk. Third, you slowly start to pull away from your family and loved ones. And fourth, before you even realize it, only the manipulator remains. They do this so incredibly smoothly that you actually end up thinking distancing yourself from your friends was your own idea.
Think of isolation like a windowless room. This is such a vivid metaphor. Imagine you're in a room with no windows and the only person who comes in tells you it's pouring rain outside every single day. Well, because you can't see for yourself, you just have to believe them.
When you're isolated, you have zero outside perspective. There's no one left to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, the way they're treating you right now isn't normal. You're stuck blindly believing whatever reality they feed you.
Real love wants you to have a full, rich life with tons of connections, great friends, strong family ties. Manipulation, it wants you on an island, where they are the absolute only boat. Why? It's simple. Because people who are completely alone are easy to control. They have nobody else to run to.
If any of this sounded familiar today, I really need you to hear this loud and clear. Manipulators target good, trusting people. You weren't targeted because you're weak, you were targeted because you are kind. Now it's time to protect that goodness. Let's quickly review the playbook so you never ever forget it. 1. They build a pedestal to make you dependent on their praise. 2. They play the pain Olympics so they're always the victim. 3. They constantly test your boundaries, like taking cookies from a jar. 4. They use hot and cold mixed signals to keep you completely confused. And 5. They slowly isolate you. But here is the great news. Once you can see these 5 tactics happening in real time, the manipulator's power disappears like smoke. You don't even have to fight, you just walk away. I want to leave you with a final, pretty serious question. Pick one person in your life, just one. Be really honest with yourself. Do they use any of these tricks? Because if the answer is yes, then you know exactly what you need to do today. Start small. Set just one boundary. Notice one trick in action. Take back your power. Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer, and go protect yourself.